Phylum Annelida. General characters of phylum Annelida. So during the process of learning general characters, now the formality for us to remember kingdom Animalia, subkingdom.
Eumetazoa.
Yeah, very good. Subkingdom it belongs to is Eumetazoa. Subkingdom Eumetazoa. The hierarchy will provide some information about the phylum for us. Grade.
Bilateria.
Bilateria triploblastica.
Or Triploblastica. Bilateria or Triploblastica. Grade Bilateria or Triploblastica. Division.
Protostomia.
Protostomia.
Protostomia or Deuterostomia.
Protostomia.
Protostomia.
Protostomia. Division. Subdivision.
Pseudocoelomata.
Phytocoelomata.
Okay, so we have four options, I think. Acoelomata, Pseudocoelomata, and Schizocoelomata, Enterocoelomata. Select the answer from there.
Phytocoelomata.
Very good. First true body cavity animals is a Schizocoelomata. Okay, so Schizocoelomata. Oh God, little spell mistake. Okay, so let us erase this. Schizocoelomata. Okay, file that kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa, grade Bilateria or Triploblastica, and division Protostomia, and subdivision Schizocoelomata. Phylum itself we made heading, that is Annelida. Okay, so with this information, I think we can answer some questions of these particular areas. Okay, so Schizocoelomata, little bit spell mistake we corrected. Okay, then let's come through this type of symmetry.
Radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry.
Because it belongs to the grade Bilateria, we say bilateral symmetry. Type of symmetry in phylum Annelida, bilateral symmetry. Okay. Next, number of germ layers.
3 germ
Germ
layers.
layer.
Yeah, 3 germ layers. Okay. Ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Next, the grade of organization.
Organ system.
Organ system.
Very good. Organ system grade of organization. Okay. Next, the fate of blastopore.
Mouth.
Mouth.
Mouth. Fate of blastopore. Mouth. Type of cleavage.
Spiral and
Spiral
determinate cleavage.
Spiral and determinate. Spiral and determinate type of cleavage. Type of embryo.
Mosaic embryo.
Mosaic embryo. Okay, so advantages of learning kingdom Animalia in detail. So before we start the chapter, we just came to know this much number of details for about phylum Annelida. Okay, next type of body cavity, that only left over. Type of body
Kilometer.
Two body cavity.
cavity. True coelom or eucoelom, we used to say. How does eucoelom is formed? That eucoelom is formed by scattered mesodermal pouches. The scattered mesodermal pouches. Hence, we call such kind of coelom as Schizocoelom. That's it. The type of symmetry is bilateral symmetry. Number of germ layers are 3. The grade of organization is organ system grade of organization, and fate of blastopore. Mouth. Type of cleavage, spiral and determinate. Type of embryo, mosaic embryo. Type of embryo, mosaic embryo. Type of body cavity, true body cavity. These are the first group of animals which are having true body cavity. That body cavity we say eucoelom, which is formed by the scattered mesodermal pouches. Hence we call it as Shageocoelom. Hence we said it as Shageocoelom. Okay. So the phylum Annelida is having the three classes. Phylum Annelida included three classes. So let me write the three classes here. Phylum Annelida. Phylum Annelida is with three classes. So there are three classes. Let us see the three classes here. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Hiradinia. Three classes here are Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hiradinia. Okay, so there are three classes: Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hiradinia. Okay, so let's go through these particular classes. We arrange them in order and we'll try to know the each and every class in detail. Okay, so there are three classes. We made it like this. So as long as we are getting the details and differences when it comes, we'll come and fill here. Okay, so for that we need to frame a table here. A table. Wait a minute, I'm trying to adjust. Here it should be. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hiradinia. So these are the three classes. So with these three classes, in that first of all, we need to go with the segmentation pattern. Segmentation pattern. Okay, so for that, first of all, let me put all these in the box. So triploblastic nature, bilateral symmetry, organ system grade of organization, fate of blastopore is mauve, type of cleavage is spiral and determinate, type of cleavage, spiral and determinate, type of embryo, mosaic embryo you can see, and mosaic embryo and spiral and determinate cleavage is the characteristic feature of division protostomia along with the fate of blastopore. Okay, so then after that, the true body cavity, which is the unique feature of this particular phylum, which is the unique feature of this particular phylum. So that we need to go with the characteristic features of each and every class. We made some table format here that we have some characteristic features to say. So that's why we made some table. So here we write the characteristic features of this particular phylum. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hiradinia. So what we are saying, appearance of the true body cavity is there first time in phylum Annelida. First time it was appeared in phylum Annelida. So this the representative from phylum Annelida. Let's talk about that. A representative. We know that phylum Annelida means we use it to get earthworms, isn't it? So that what will remain earthworm. So let us start from earthworm itself. That let me introduce the earthworm. So this is the earthworm. In case of earthworm, we may see the segmentation is present here. Segmentation. We already said about some segments of the earthworm. There are about 100 to 120 segments are present in case of earthworm. 100 to 120 segments are present in earthworm. Okay. So we can classify the segmentation into two. That if segmentation present only outside, we say such kind of segmentation is called external segmentation. If the segmentation is there in both outside and inside, we can say internal segmentation. That internal segmentation is present in the form of septa. Internal segmentation is present in the form of septa. Means, for example, Let's take earthworm example here. Earthworm. So earthworm, when you see outside, you can see the segmentations like this, isn't it? So that there seems to be like floors of the building. Okay, so when you go inside, inside the body also, internal segmentation can be seen over. What do you say? The internal segmentation of the earthworm as septa. Internal segmentation as septa. So what we need to do here? We need to go with the segmentation topic in the three classes. So I am taking the topic segmentation. That means how it is there in the three classes that we need to go for. Okay, so how the segmentation is there in three classes. Okay, so Polychaeta, whatever we talked about earthworm, isn't it? That oligochaeta, earthworms are belongs to the oligochaeta. So that's why what we need to say, both external segmentation and internal segmentation is present. Because simply we say earthworms are belongs to class oligochaeta. External and internal segmentation are present. Both are present here. Okay. So animals of Polychaeta are with only external segmentation. So only with external segmentation. Okay. So they are with only external segmentation. So that's it about Polychaeta. So in case of Iridinia, so only external segmentation present in case of Iridinia also. Only external segmentation is present, but the Iridinia is more special here. For that, I have to introduce a leech. That Iridinians include leeches. So let me introduce a leech to you here to understand the characteristic feature. In case of leech, the segmentation is present like this. Segments are present. How many segments are present? If I ask the same question in case of earthworm, what we used to say? 100 to 120. What it means? In some animals 100, in some animal 110, in some animal 120. There is no specific number. But if we ask the same in leech, we can answer. 33 segments are present. 33 segments, exactly. Any leech of the one species, if you look forward, you can see 33 segments. Okay. So what do you say that as? Segment specific number. Species segment specific number is the characteristic feature of these animals. Species segment specific number, we can say here. Okay. So that is their characteristic feature, that segment specific number. Next, one more speciality is there here, that every segment again divided into sub-segments. You take this segment, this in this segment, again some sub-segments are present. Every segment again divided into some sub-segment. These sub-segments are called as annuli. We say here that these are sub-segments. So these sub-segments are called as annuli. So these are segments, and each segment again divided into some sub segments. What do you say the sub segments are? Annuli. Okay, so let me show you. Every segment will divide like this. So this is about the story of segmentation. There is no internal segmentation, no partition inside. Only outside you can see all these kind of decorations, arrangements we see. Okay, so what are the features we need to write? Species specific number of segments. Every species will have their own speciality of species specific number of segments. Okay. And what is another feature which is very important here? Annuli. Every segment again divided into sub-segments called as annuli. So this is about the features of three classes of phylum Annelida about segmentation. Before we enter into the general characters, we discussed about the segmentation. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Iridium. In that, in case of Polychaeta, only external segmentation is present. In case of Oligochaeta, both external and internal segmentation are present. Next, in Hiridinia, only external segmentation here also, but every segment has a specific number of segments and each segment again subdivided. The division of segment, each segment into subsegments again, what do you say? Annuli. What do you call that kind of feature? Annuli. So, species specific number and that every species will divide into subsegment. We say unique features of class Hiridinia. Okay. Next, then let us start the characteristic features of each and every the phylum and class. So the general characters we are now moving along with the general characters. If you find anything different, is that we go in the form of that means if classes wise differences are there, we'll go and we'll fill that also. So that all the three classes are having bilateral symmetry, three germ layers, organ system grade of organization, fate of blastopore mouth, type of cleavage spiral indeterminate, and type of embryo mosaic, type of body cavity true coelom, and that coelom is formed by the scattered mesodermal pouches. We say Schage coelom. Just talked about the segmentation, external segmentation, and internal segmentation. Generally, external segmentation is in the form of grooves outside. Internal segmentation is in the form of septa. Just we talked about how that particular three classes are having the segmentation. Polychaeta is with only external segmentation, no internal segmentation. Oligochaeta, external and internal segmentation, both are present. Earthworm is the best example. Then Hiridinia, only external segmentation is present. That what do you say? Some more features are related to this species specific number of segments. That means every species is having their own specific number of segments. That I said to you. In case of leeches, that Hiridinaria granulus, we used to say, that is having the 33 segments are present in them. 33 segments are present in them, and each segment is divided into subsegments called as annuli. Okay, so subsegments called as annuli. Okay, then let's go with the general characteristic features of this. As usual, our formality that we need to start with habitat. So I do remember you. This is from the beginning. We are going with the same kind of pattern, like so any general character from Purifer onwards. We are doing this habit and habitat. Habit and habitat. Next, we need to go for locomotion. How it is in the classes, in the phylum. Digestive system. Need to talk about digestive system. Okay, respiratory system. Then circulatory system. You should have idea on the each and every phylum. Whatever the questions I am asking, yeah, you have to remember it as question like excretory system, nervous system. Here only sense organs will be. Skeletal system. Then reproductive system. So these are the features to be identified over habitat, locomotion, digestive system, respiratory system, and circulatory, excretory, nervous, skeletal, and reproductive system. Okay. So now let's talk about this. Habit and habitat different from define. Mostly marine here in case of Polychaeta. Okay, Oligochaeta, that they live on the moist soil. That oligochaetes live in moist soil, but some are there in fresh water also. That example we have for fresh water, that tubifex, we can say. Freshwater animal, tubifex. Okay, example for fresh water, the tubifex, we can say. Okay. But mostly moist soil. Moist soil, we can take example, our earthworm. We used to say it as peritima. Okay, so fresh water, example for fresh water, tubifex. Next, Hiridinia. That marine forms are there, freshwater forms are there, and also terrestrial forms are there. Marine, freshwater, and terrestrial. That all that three types are available here. Marine leeches, that we can say marine leeches, freshwater leeches, terrestrial leeches. Okay. Next, about the food habits. That in general, these are free living animals. Polychaeta. Okay, so free living. Free living generally holozoic, we have to say. If any special, we can say. What is the specialty? Earthworms are saprophytic. That means they use it to eat the decaying organic leaves. Saprophytic, we can say. And the very important and unique that Hiridinia are ectoparasites. Sanguivorous ectoparasites, we can say. What is sanguivorous? Sanguivorous means blood sucking, we can say. Sanguivorous, the feature which we can say blood sucking. Remember, for the same will be applicable for mosquitoes also. That we can say mosquitoes also they are sanguivorous. That means those can suck the blood from the human host. What do you say? Ectoparasite, sanguivorous ectoparasite, blood sucking ectoparasite, we can say. Okay, so that's it. That is about the habit of organism, that habit and nutrition, you can say even. Okay, so then next, some features. Locomotion. Need to talk about locomotion. Okay. Locomotion in case of phylum Annelida. Standard we say about CT, that we can say CT are helpful for the locomotion. That means if we take these are the CT that I'll show you back again in coming classes that when we go for earthworm. So here I can show the CT or Kete, we used to say. Why these are called Kete? Kete means Kete. Why they are called Kete? Kete means they are this Kete made up of chitin. That's why they are also called Kete or Kete. Okay, so chitinous substance, hot substance, the chitinous which they are made up of. Okay, so Kete or Kete. Polykete, why I am pronouncing again and again. That means you need to understand that polykete. What is polykete? Poly means many, kete means kete. Kete, we said already that as they are also called kete. Many kete are present. Okay. In case of polykete. Oligokete, that means few number of kete are present. So oligokete, oligo means few, kete. Next, Hiridinia. There is no any kete in case of Hiridinia. Okay, so they have their own special locomotory organelles. Let me clear this to explain. For that, we need to go with the nearest a representation we require from Polyketa. Okay, so in case of Polyketa, I am introducing nearest. Nearest, which is commonly called as sandworms. So that is the best example for the explanation. Nereis are sandworms. We use it to say. Here, let me say that Nereis also having segmentation, which is external segmentation only present here. So in this case, the Nereis, parapodia are present here. So para means a side, poda means legs, parapodia means, so many are present. So let me show you one parapodia in microscope. This is parapodia. Okay. This parapodia, para means side, poda means legs. Every segment is having that side legs. What do you call them as parapodia? Okay. So what is why I brought this parapodia in microscope? That to see CT. So parapodia contains CT. That you have to imagine the remaining that in every parapodia what are present, CT are present. Okay, so that visualizing. Parapodia contain cetane for locomotion. That you need to remember. Parapodia contain cetane for locomotion. I am writing. Parapodia contain cetane for locomotion. Okay, that we are completed about them. Oligoketa. Few number of CT are present. Earthworm is the example for that. Nothing special more than that. Few number of CT for locomotion. Parapodia contains CT for locomotion. Few number of CT that CT are present for locomotion in case of Oligoketa. Next, Iridinia. What is their specialty? Leeches don't have CT. Leeches are not having CT. Then what are present in them? Okay, so leeches are having suckers. Let me show you the leech. We already drawn. Yeah. There are two suckers present in the leech. This is one and oral sucker, and this is two, the ventral sucker. One and two. Two suckers are present. So with the help of the suckers, it is showing locomotion. So oral sucker, let me label here, oral sucker and ventral sucker or acetabulum, we can say. This is ventral sucker or acetabulum. So simply we say locomotion is possible with the suckers. Okay, so let me fill that. Yeah, suckers are helpful for locomotion. Suckers are helpful for locomotion. So before we close that this table, that need to go with more other characters, but whatever the fill characters you see here, in case of Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hiridinia, the segmentation is going to be like this. Only external segmentation is present in Polychaeta. Both external and internal segmentations are present in case of Oligochaeta. That means external segmentation in the form of grooves, internal segmentation in the form of septa are present in Oligochaeta. Only external segmentation with species specific number of segments. That means every species having that specific number of segments. What do you call it as the special feature of Iridinia? Each segment divided into subsegments called annule. Habitat wise, marine, that is in Polychaeta, then moist soil, Peridium, fresh water, tubifex from Oligochaeta, then Hiridinia, that we have the speciality. Marine are there, freshwater leeches are there, terrestrial leeches are there. Okay, so Polychaeta, about nutrition and habitat we are talking about. They are free living, Oligochaeta free living and saprophytic. Hiridinia, that sanguivorous ectoparasite, the blood sucking ectoparasites we can see. Then Polychaeta, I just shown you the Parapodia contains setae for locomotion. Few number of setae are present in Oligochaeta for locomotion, and suckers are helpful for locomotion. So one thing you need to be noted down that the body wall containing circular and longitudinal muscle, the body wall of ferret that annulates contain circular and longitudinal muscles which are also helpful for locomotion. The body wall of annulates contain, let me write the total, body wall of annulates contain circular and longitudinal muscles which are also helpful for locomotion. As we said, CTA and some other else there that which are also helpful for locomotion. Think you need to decrease the size for the full visibility. That's it. Decrease. Okay, so that's the story of them. The body wall of annulates contains circular and longitudinal muscles which are also helpful for locomotion. Okay, need to continue the table. Need to continue the table. That because the classes are their own diversity they are having, isn't it? They have their own diversity. Each class is having showing their own diversity. So we know till the time phylum Annelida means earthworms. Now we came to know a sandworm from phylum Annelida class Polychaeta. Nereis we use it to say. And earthworm as usual it belongs to Oligochaeta. Whereas here it is the column we are giving to say the common differences. and column for polychaeta, a column for oligochaeta, and another for iridium. Okay, so as long as the features will come, if differences are there, we'll fill here. Okay, so feature, we'll write first, that is feature. Need to increase the font size, 24. Yeah, feature. Then class, polychaeta. Repeating why? Because that polychaeta, oligochaeta, iridinia, if I repeat along the length of the class, now you will be recognized that when we say that earlier also we did the same, Calcarea, Hexactinellida, and Calcarea, Hexactinellida, Demospongia. Can you say which phylum they are belongs to? Calcarea, Hexactinellida, Demospongia.
Porifera.
Porifera.
Very good. Phylum Porifera. Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Anthozoa.
Nidaria.
Okay, so that's why I'm repeating. Polychaeta, oligochaeta, iridinia, Archaeannelida. Archaeannelida is not there now. So that's why we are repeating continuously. Why? Because if you able to see them clearly, that means if you are saying again and again when I pronounce, it will come in your mind. Okay. So habit and habitat we are completed. Locomotion we said with the setae and suckers. Setae and suckers we distributed to the classes also. Digestive system. Elementary canal. We already started in the last phylum Nematoda. Elementary canal begins with mouth and ends with anus. Ends with anus as usual. But what is the speciality? These are true coelomate animals. That's why the gut elementary canal is muscular. How? Why means we can answer that during embryonic development, mesoderm, it reaches to the body, the elementary canal side also. We discussed in the coelom. So now I say answer simply. They are true coelomate. That's why their elementary canal is muscular. Okay. Elementary canal of this particular animals is muscular. The well-defined elementary canal is present. Okay. Next, respiratory system. No special respiratory organs occurs here. Respiration occurs through diffusion. Okay. Respiration occurs through diffusion. To say something that we can say parapodia of phylum, the class Polychaeta. The parapodia of class Polychaeta is having this particular some characteristic feature. So let's write about that particular characteristic feature, the respiration. Let us write respiration. There is no special respiratory organs are present anywhere. But in case of Polychaeta, let me show you first of all. We already drawn the Polychaeta. Okay. So in case of Polychaeta, parapodia are having large number of blood capillaries in the parapodia. Parapodia are having large number of blood capillaries. What the word we used from the beginning from for many blood capillaries are present, we are used this word vascularization. Vascularization, that means the large number of blood capillaries are present, we say vascularization. Now note down parapodia for locomotion by having setae. Parapodia for respiration by having large number of blood capillaries. They act like gills. They act like gills, respiration. So functions of parapodia we can give that both the locomotion and respiration. By having setae, they are for locomotion, by which vascularization made them to say they have respiration. Then Polychaeta, respiration. Now we say parapodia are vascularized. Parapodia are vascularized. For what? For respiration. Parapodia are vascularized for respiration. Do remember this. Okay, so parapodia are vascularized for respiration. Parapodia are containing setae for locomotion. So finally, the functions of therapeutic. So in case of oligoketa, body wall, through body wall, moist body wall is there for respiration. Here also, there is no special respiratory organs are present here. The body wall, respiration through body wall. Okay, next the features circulatory system. Circulatory system. Closed vascular system is present here. Closed blood vascular system. Closed blood vascular system. What is closed blood vascular system? The blood vessels and blood capillaries are present. If blood vessels as well as blood capillaries are present, we can say closed vascular system. Now, excretory system. Excretory system. Excretory system, we need to introduce nephridia. Nephridia are present. Which nephridia? Nephridia which contain nephrostome are called as metanephridia. Well developed nephridia, we can say metanephridia are present with nephrostome. Is a unique feature of phylum Annelid. Metanephric nephridia, we can say. Okay, next, nervous system. Nervous system as we need to say circumenteric nerve ring. Circumenteric nerve ring, which means that enteric, as I already said to you, enteric. What is the meaning of enteric? Gut. Which part of the gut? Pharynx. That's why we have a special name. Pharynx. Circumpharyngeal nerve ring. We can say such kind of nerve ring as circumpharyngeal nerve ring. Because it surrounds the pharynx. The nerve ring surrounds the pharynx. Give a brief, we'll go much details in case of earthworm learning. And nerve ganglia above the pharynx. Suprapharyngeal nerve ganglia we use it to see. Subpharyngeal nerve ganglia. This is only called cerebral ganglia or brain. Then subpharyngeal ganglia. I'm using the word ganglia. Just focus there. That's all. Because that about the nerve cord and nerve ganglia we'll discuss in the earthworm again. So here it is the case. Suprapharyngeal nerve ganglia, subpharyngeal nerve ganglia are present. This is above the pharynx, this ganglia. These are present below the pharynx. And a double ventral nerve cord, which is a special feature. A double, that means two. Ventral, that means location of the nerve cord is at ventral. Okay, double ventral solid. Solid means no hollowing. Double ventral nerve cord, solid nerve cord is present. That I just drawn the two nerve cords there. And the nerve cords are even having nerve ganglia in every segment of the body. Every segment of the body are having nerve ganglia. I just drawn few segments for you. Double ventral nerve cord. So what do you say these particular segments are? Segments that every segment is having nerve ganglia that can be called as segmental nerve ganglia. Segmental nerve ganglia. Okay, so such kind of ganglia are said to be segmental nerve ganglia. So finally, that nervous system of phylum Annelida, circumenteric nerve ring, which nerve ring surround the pharynx, hence called circumpharyngeal nerve ring. That I'll show the nerve ring here. This is the nerve ring. There's a circumpharyngeal nerve ring and double ventral nerve cord, segmental nerve ganglia are present. Okay, so that's it about the nervous system. Next, skeletal system. No special skeleton present here. Coelomic fluid only acts as a hydrostatic skeleton. And other than that, there is no special skeletal portion here. Fluid itself acts as skeleton. That's why it is called hydrostatic skeleton. Reproductive system need to discuss in detail. Reproductive, more confusions are there only. So that's why need to discuss in detail for Polychaeta, for Oligochaeta, and for Iridinia. Then after we'll go to the text and there we'll try to understand the text lines also. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Iridinia. Okay, so for that, let me show you the first, the Polychaeta. So their condition of reproduction, Polychaeta. Okay, so okay, wait. We have sense organs. Let me fill the sense organs first of all. That is particularly for Polychaeta. A pair of eyes are present. No for earthworm. Cephalization, which is more pronounced in case of only Polychaeta. Cephalization, we can say. Cephalization is there in case of earthworm. So, a pair of eyes are present, a pair of tentacles are present, and a pair of palps are present. Eyes, tentacles, and palps are the unique feature of this particular. So that is exclusive for our well-developed sense organ. In case of Polychaeta, well-developed sense organs are present with a pair of eyes, tentacles, and palps, which is the unique feature of Polychaeta. Okay, so that's it. No other having the specified sense organ. Some are present, but just aggregations of nerve cell endings. Okay, so the Polychaeta. Okay, so Polychaeta reproduction. We are discussing. We want to discuss the Polychaeta reproduction. So that number one, the features we are talking. These are unisexual. Unisexual. What is the meaning of unisexual? Male, female are separate. That's why we call them as unisexual, isn't it? So unisexual. Did we use another word for this? Unisexual. Any word we used for this?
Dioecious.
Nidaria.
Dioecious. We used a word called dioecious. So unisexual or dioecious. We need to say here like this. Okay, unisexual or dioecious. Okay, that's the first thing you need to understand. Then fertilization. Here, gonoducts are absent. That means that the particular ducts which can transport the sperms are absent here. Gonoducts. Gonoducts we pronounce more in earthworm. Vasa differentia we used to say. Oviduct we call. Such gonoducts are absent. That is their speciality. Polychaeta. Okay. Next, fertilization occur in water. That means male and female are going to release the gametes in the water. Okay, so that's why fertilization external. Fertilization external. It occurs unisexual or dioecious. Gonoducts are absent. Fertilization is external. Then development is indirect. Development is indirect. So when we announce the indirect, what we need to say? Development is indirect. That means we need to mention the larval form name. Larval form is called trochophore larva. Larval form is said to be trochophore larva. This is the story of Polychaeta, unisexual or dioecious. Gonoducts are absent. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect. Okay. So the same features we need to write here in the differences. So let me fill the differences here. Okay. So first of all, let me close this. So we are closing this. Next, we'll make some more lines because most of the characters are related to the reproduction. The class-wise characters are related to reproduction only. So, okay. So now let me write. So first of all, here in the first column, we need to write unisexual or bisexual. Unisexual or bisexual. Okay, so that we need to write here, unisexual or bisexual. I think we are able to write Polychaeta. What is Polychaeta? Unisexual, also called dioecious. The unisexual or dioecious, we can say. Okay. Then oligochaeta and oh my God, we made it exactly done. Did a small mistake here. What is this? Should say no. Here, okay. Oligochaeta. This is oligochaeta. And here, iridinaria. Iridinia. Okay, oligochaeta. Oligochaeta bisexual. And Hiridinia bisexual. Both are bisexual. Oligochaeta and Hiridinia are bisexual. Okay. So what is another character we are taken? That unisexual, bisexual. We say. Next, fertilization. Where does the fertilization is happening? Fertilization outside or inside? That is very important for us. So fertilization external. That we already announced in case of this particular polychaeta. Fertilization occurs in the water. Fertilization external in case of polychaeta. Okay. Next, oligochaeta. Fertilization is external. Okay, very interestingly, fertilization is internal in case of Heridinia. Why? How? How that we can say they have a male copulatory structure called cirrus. The male copulatory structure. The male copulatory structure, cirrus, we say. Copulatory structure, cirrus, makes this possible. Cirrus helpful for internal fertilization. So if you go for oligochaeta, that is in cocoon. That in case of earthworm I am talking. So that's why we can say that is the external fertilization only. Okay. Development. We need to answer it as direct or indirect, isn't it? Development. Development is already we announced in case of polychaeta. That is indirect. That means with larval form. Development is indirect with larval form. So we need to announce the larval form also. That who is the larval form? Here I announced Procophore. The larval form said to be Procophore is the larva. Procophore is the larva, which is the unique feature of this particular animals. Procophore. Next, oligochaeta. No development. Here the direct development you can see. Development is direct. That means when we announce development is direct, you need to understand there is no larval form. Okay, larval form is absent. That's why no need to announce anything. Here also the development is there. Iridium development is there. Okay. So the fertilization external development is there. So particularly in case of polychaeta, we announced one more thing, that is gonoducts are absent. We will write this. We'll write somewhere else. We'll take in some other color. That's it. Gonoducts are absent. That to be remembered. Okay, so that's it. These are all the general characters of the polychaeta, oligochaeta, and hiridinia. Along with the length, we are talking about not only general characters. Then the very important feature, which is the unique feature of this Annelida, with variations in the classes. Clitellum. We need to talk about clitellum. So what is clitellum? Clitellum, a girdle-like structure present in earthworms. You know that clitellum. I think that in case of earthworms, what is the speciality? It is present along the lifetime. Present in the total lifetime. That means that we have to say in case of Iridinia, formed during only breeding season. So here, that is the speciality of them. Formed only during breeding season. That in case of polychaeta, there is no clitellum. Clitellum used to secrete cocoon around the particular eggs. That no matter in case of polychaeta, because they are releasing eggs outside itself, isn't it? External fertilization. Okay, so that's why no clitellum here in case of polychaeta. So that features of phylum Annelida, along with the classification we are seeing, that when it comes to the examples, polychaeta, we are showing from the beginning, Nereis or sandworm, all they are commonly called bristle worms in generally. So I am showing sandworm, Nereis particularly Phytopterus, paddleworm, Arenicola, lugworm, Unis viridis called Palaloworm, Aphrodite, sea mouse. Likewise, we'll see the example. Oligochaeta, our earthworm itself, oligochaeta. The Ferritima postuma, Oligochaeta. Pubifex already I said to you. So then in case of the Hiridina leeches are present. Okay. Megascolex, Oligochaeta, Megascolex and Ferritima. So many other are there. Lumbricus, Dravida, Grandis, various types of earthworms we have. Megascoletis australis. So let me show you the examples. Polychaeta, Nereis, sandworm, or ragworm, or clamworm. Aphrodite, sea mouse, Arenicola, lugworm. Then Oligochaeta, Peritima, Megascolex, Tubifex, all are commonly called earthworms. Hiridinians are commonly called leeches. Here example, Hiridinaria, freshwater leech. Cantobdella, marine water leech. Hemodispa, the land leech which lives on the land. Let's come with the general characters, then after we'll get back into the classification. Phylum Annelida. Beside the segmented body plan, here all the segments are similar in shape and size. Hence, we called it as metamerically segmented animal that we discussed with tapeworm in class Histoda. They are having pseudo-metameric segmentation. Yes, Annelida. The word coined by Lamarck, the scientist who coined the word Annelida is Lamarck. So, habitat-wise, aquatic or marine or freshwater and terrestrial, and some are free living, some are parasites, sometimes that means leeches are parasites. In that way they say it. Okay, some are free living and some are parasites. So then our set feature, organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, triploplastic nature, eucoelomate condition, particularly coelomate. The body and the coelom are divided by transverse septa into segments. Segments are called metameres. So they possess longitudinal and circular muscles in the body wall. They are helpful for locomotion. Coelomic fluid acts as hydrostatic skeleton, giving the stiffness to the body parts during locomotion. The aquatic annelids such as Nereis possess lateral appendages called as parapodia, which help in swimming. Chitinous setae and suckers also helpful in locomotion. Cephalization is more pronounced with distinct head and sense organ. That is applicable for Polychaeta, Nereis. Respiration is by simple diffusion through the body wall in Nereis, and highly vascularized parapodia help in respiration, as I shown this to you now. A closed circulatory system is present, blood vessels and capillaries are present, and respiratory pigment is hemoglobin and chlorocrurin. Chlorocrurin is a green color blood. Presence of hemoglobin, that in general people that we know that people know that blood is red in color. Chlorocrurin gives green color blood. Interestingly, Sabella of class Polychaeta is one of the best examples. Okay, hemoglobin and chlorocrurin are found dissolved in the plasma. That means RBC are absent. Hemoglobin is not there in RBC. Hemoglobin is dissolved in the plasma. The very, very important feature in case of anemia. Nephridia, metanephridia, nephridia with nephrostome, which are ectodermal in origin, help in osmoregulation as well as excretion. Nervous system consists of a paved cerebral or suprapharyngeal nerve ganglia, subpharyngeal nerve ganglia, connected by lateral nerves around the pharynx. That's why we call circumpharyngeal nerve ring. And a ganglionated double ventral nerve cord, a certain type of nervous system. Easy to see. Sense organs like eyes, palps, and tentacles are occur in some. They may be dioecious, that sexes are separate, like Polychaeta, Nereis, or they may be monoecious, like Oligochaeta and Hiridinium, that earthworms and leeches. Reproduction is usually sexual, no doubt. Cleavage is holoblastic and spiral, determinate also we add. Development is direct with monoecious, bisexual annelid. That means in case of Oligochaeta and Hiridinia, indirect in the dioecious annelids. That means in case of Polychaeta, we announced the larval form is Procophore. Procophore is the larval form. Okay. Next, the classification. As we said, there are three classes: Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Hiradinia. Talking about Polychaeta. Polychaeta include marine annelids, commonly called bristle worms. Some are free-moving and others are burrowing or tuberculous. Head is distinct. See here, head is distinct. Head is distinct with sense organs such as eyes, tentacles, and paws. Parapodia are with where many setae, hence the name Polychaetae, help in locomotion as well as respiration. Clitellum is absent here. Clitellum is absent. They are dioecious or unisexual. Gonoducts are absent. Gametes are shed into the coelom and passed out through the nephridiopore. That means gonoducts are absent. That's why gametes are coming out through the nephridium. Like excretory material, they'll be thrown out, but fertilization occurs in the water. Fertilization occurs in the water. That we call external. Development include a trophophore larva. Okay. So what have I said here? The characters are showing in textbook. Examples: Nereis sandworm, Chitopterus. Okay, Chitopterus not there, but as an animal we have. Paddle worm, we say. Arenicola, lugworm, Aphrodite, sea mouse. Aphrodite, sea mouse. Unis viridis, interesting animal is there here. Palalu worm we use it to say. Unis viridis. Okay. So whatever there, they are enough. You just go through them. Next, oligochaeta. Oligo means few. Chaetae means setae, which include earthworms which live in moist soil and some live in fresh water. Some live in fresh water. Tubific. Example tubific. They lack distinct head. There is no head. Just keep the earthworm in mind. You understand. So they lack distinct head. And chitinous setae are helpful for locomotion. Setae for locomotion. Clitellum formed during breeding season, forms a cocoon during breeding season, but clitellum is present throughout the lifetime. They are monoecious, bisexual. Development is direct without any larval stage. Peritima, Megascolex, Lumbricus, Gravida, Eutyphius, Udrillus eugeniae, Perioninx excavatus, Icenia, Fetida. Various earthworms are there. You just remember Peritima, Megascolex, and Tubifex. Okay, let's talk about the Hiradinia. Very, very important. Polychaeta or Hiradinia, the frequent question in IP examination. Okay, so need pattern in this chapter is comparatively different. So that after all this completion of this particular chapter, exclusively I'll go with the need pattern. And we have an interesting question paper for need in this chapter, Animal Kingdom, which total chapter representation I prepared a paper that will show you. Will conduct an examination on them. So till the time we just go through the state textbook here. Till I say go through the state textbook, and need pattern is comparatively a little different. That difference in the end I'll see. Okay, Hiradinia. So includes leeches. All are ectoparasites. Sanguivorous ectoparasites. Blood sucking. Majority live in fresh water, but some marine and others also live in moist land, terrestrial. They have dorsoventrally flattened body with a definite number of segments. As I gave example, 33 segments, isn't it? The segments are externally subdivided into annuli. Okay, internal segmentation is absent, no septa. Suckers are helpful for locomotion. Suckers help in locomotion. Clitellum is conspicuous during the breeding season only. Clitellum is conspicuous, visible during the breeding season only. The very, very unique and important feature, that is botryoidal tissue. Botryoidal tissue. Botryoidal, which is a unique feature of only this particular class, resembling a bunch of grapes. Opinion differ on the function of botryoidal tissue. That means some say they range from excretion to storage of iron and calcium for the revascularization in areas of injury. Some says that exclusive excretory materials there. Okay, so excretion say some says, and some says they store iron, calcium, and for revascularization in areas of injury. They are monoecious. hermaphrodite, monoecious, or bisexual, we can say. Male reproductive system possess a copulatory organ called as cirrus, which makes the fertilization internal, and development is direct, no larval form. Iridineria, freshwater leech, Pentobdilla, marine leech, Hemodispa, land leech. Maximum, the remembering these characters maximum based on the diagram, as I said to you, these are the little complication we get started actually. That maximum, if you remember in the form of diagram, that will be better. Means when we say Polychaeta, immediately whatever the diagram is there on the screen, their visual should come in mind. When visual comes, we'll write automatically points. That you see here, there is a point. Cephalization, clearly seen, with eyes, tentacles, and palps. A pair of eyes, tentacles, and palps are present. Segmentation is external, we can say. In case of Polychaeta, segmentation external. Each segment bear parapodia. Parapodia contains setae for locomotion. Parapodia is vascularized for respiration and act like gills. Okay, so that's it. That's it. By looking towards the diagram, we'll be able to say like remaining all are reproductive features about Polychaeta. What are the reproductive features we have seen about the Polychaeta? Polychaetes are we say they are the unisexual or dioecious. Gonoducts are absent. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect with chrocophore larva. No clitella. Okay. So likewise, iridium. Let's come to this. So that respiration through body wall, no doubt. Bisexual. Bisexual, we have some names that you have to remember. Not only we say bisexual. Bisexual is also called monoecious. Monoecious. Hermaphrodite. Monoecious or hermaphrodite. Here also the same. Bisexual or monoecious. Monoecious or hermaphrodite. Both Oligochaeta and Iridinia are the same. Okay, hermaphrodite. Okay, so that's it. Fertilization, that internal fertilization in case of Iridinia, which contains a male copulatory structure. Cirrus is helpful for the internal fertilization. Development in leeches, direct, that formed during, clitellum is formed during only breeding season. And examples to be remembered over. Okay, so that's it. The differences about the Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Iridinia, the differences along with the general characters. We frame first a box here. That box we frame by showing some characteristic features that like segmentation, habitat, habit, locomotion. Then after we went through the reproductive features and exclusive independent item, botryoidal tissue. Botryoidal tissue, which is said to be the bunch of grapes in other words. This botryoidal tissue is the characteristic feature of the iridinaria. Filled in the total body cavity. That's the interesting thing actually. The botryoidal tissue fills the total body cavity. Okay. So they are for storage or they are for that excretion. People believe like so. Various opinions are there about that. So that first of all, see the differences. See the differences. I'll show you the differences. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Iridinia. Among the three, Polychaeta and Iridinia are very regular questions in case of IP examination. So differences some I wrote here. And next here. Went far away in the last frame. So here. So we just shown the differences here and there. Most times I followed the diagrammatic base. That means earthworm will there for us clearly. That's why we gave a visual for Polychaeta and also I gave the visual for leeches. We made a visual for leeches also. So that means when you see the leech, should remember the features. There are two sucker, roller sucker, ventral sucker, helpful for locomotion. Segment number is specific. Then each segment subdivided into annuli. Clitellum will form only during breeding season. That means the features you need to get to. The male copulatory organ cirrus is present for internal fertilization. Development is direct without any larval form. and the bunch of grapes, botryoidal tissue that you need to remember. The body cavity. Interestingly, there is no body cavity here. Actually, they should have coelomic cavity, true coelom, isn't it? The true coelom is there, but that is filled by this botryoidal tissue inside. Okay, the botryoidal tissue is present. So that inside we have the botryoidal tissue, that bunch of grapes, that is the unique feature of them. So that's it about the Annelida, general characters of Annelida. And we'll go with phylum Arthropoda, the coming class.